Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome back to another video, and I didn't mean to do another video like this style so soon after the other one, but something interesting came out, something that got me simultaneously excited and disappointed at the same time. And why is that? Well, basically earlier on, a couple of hours ago, I saw that Bandai dropped some information about the spin-off of Iron Blooded Orphans we heard about back in August. And it had a whole trailer and everything, and before I even realized it, I was totally excited until I realized that it is just an app. It's not an OVA, it's not a series, it's nothing like that. It is just an app game. And more than likely, on top of that, it won't ever be translated to English either. So before anybody gets too excited or anything like that, there's probably absolutely nothing to get excited about, except potentially they may release some of the high-grade Gunpla that we did want from Iron Blooded Orphans that never came out because of what is in the trailer. So I'm going to take a quick look through the trailer, see what is in there, and just before that I'll briefly explain what the plot of this app game is, just for those of you who don't know and don't care to read about it. So first off, I will mention that all the information I got about this is from the Anime News Network website. So if it's wrong, it's all their fault, but I'm pretty sure it is pretty much all correct. So straight away it does say that the title of this spin-off is Kiro Senshi Gundam Tekketsu no Orphans Urðr-Hunt. So basically that's something like Mobile Suit Gundam, Iron Blooded Orphans, Urðr-Hunt, whatever an Uruzu is. But anyway, the first thing that you'll see about this is the Gundam that's in it, which looks pretty cool. It looks like a cross between Barbatos and Bale. Pretty damn cool. We'll see some more of that in a little bit. But anyway, all of this takes place on Venus in the same year as everything in the Iron Blooded Orphans anime TV series. The same year all of that stuff took place. I don't know if what I said there was very clear, so basically I'll say it again. When what was happening in Iron Blooded Orphans happened in PD 323, this is happening at the same time. And I'm going to go through this really quickly because it's a really dumb plot. So basically, I'll take a blast through the characters that they've announced so far, and this is the main character here, which is Wistario Afam. So a lot of Gundam main characters have a lot of lofty goals and whatnot, either to stop wars or to be the strongest or something like that, but this guy just wants to make Venus into a tourism destination. That's a bit weird. Next up then, we've got this guy here is Demuna Kitako Jr., apparently. And this is the caretaker of the main character because the main character is an orphan, funnily enough. I guess they had to make it make sense with Iron Blooded Orphans again. More like Iron Blooded Orphan. And then we've got this character right here who is Korunaru Kosa. And according to the blurb about her, she just appears out of nowhere. So I think this is your guide in the game. And she's that kind of emotionalist trope character. One of those. She also likes tea, apparently. And who the fuck cares about all them? This is what I wanted to see. This right here is the new Gundam with the odd name Hajiroboshi. Which basically means, as far as I can see from the kanji, end white star. So the end of a white star or something. I guess that may be reflected in its V-fin up there on the head. But this looks quite cool. Like I mentioned already, it looks like a cross between the Bale and the Barbatos. Definitely a lot of Bale in there in the legs. The way Bale had a lot of blue, this guy right here has a lot of red. And we'll see some more pictures of that later on, especially some of the images from the trailer. And it has some hefty looking armaments towards the back, a lot of boosters and stuff. And of course, if you remember that thing that they announced on Twitter back in August, which was teasing this, we got this picture right here, which is the back of the Gundam in question. So anyone who is getting excited about what this would be, stop being excited. It's just an app game, and once again, probably never going to be in English. If this does, however, end up with a spin-off anime, that would be great. I doubt it, but there is still the potential of Gunpla, and especially of the main mobile suit right here. For those of you who tune into the channel all the time, you know I am absolutely obsessed with Iron Blooded Orphans high grades. They were such cool high grades. Full inner frame, one of the first lines where all the parts were completely and utterly swappable throughout everything. You could make your own custom with no skills whatsoever. They were so cool. But speaking of Gunpla and speaking about this right here, let's take a quick look through the trailer to see what mobile suits are in it. And if I know Bandai will want to cash in on this and hopefully make some high grades for this, especially of Hajiroboshi right here. And before I actually go off the topic of Gundam Hajiroboshi, I will mention that you'll notice that its name is not a demonic name like you got with Barbatos and Bale and whatnot. It's more like what we would have seen with Gundam Vidar. So Gundam Vidar was the first non-demon named Gundam. That's because it was Gundam Chimaris with just a new set of armor on it and renamed. So I assume that's exactly what the situation is right here with this Gundam. That it is another one with a demonic name that's just been renamed in that Japanese style because of this Japanese guy right here. But because this is going on at the same time as the other anime series, I assume it's none of those and a new one. So will we find out what that is? Maybe not. More than likely this is non-canonical because it is just a tacked on app game. But anyway, to the trailer. Okay, starting right into it with that sunrise beginning and whatnot, we'll skip in ahead. It does say right away spin-off. It does not want you to get confused that it's anything else. This little ring right here seems to play a massive part in it. I assume it's just a game mechanic, why you can collect things or whatever in the game. That's what I assume that thing right there is. There is that typical, absolutely typical Iron Blooded Orphans fist, just a little bit different. Moving through it a little bit more, and let's make sure I haven't missed anything. And straight away it opens up with the Gundam Hajiroboshi right there, looking very Barbatos-like and very Bale-like right now. When we move a little bit more through this, we get to see this right here, and this you'll recognize instantly. So this, you can tell from the head, is a variant of the Spinner Rody, which is based on the Rody frame like the Man Rody. These did feature in the actual anime, but for some reason or another we didn't get any high grades of these, even though these are by far the coolest looking variant, as far as I'm concerned, that is based on the Rody frame. So there we have a bunch of them dropping down onto that Venus colony, so hopefully we will see some kits of them. They look so cool. I will mention that we've got a bit of a Zeon vibe here, or a Neo-Zeon vibe, as the people who are on this particular colony on Venus are essentially like criminals and whatnot that have been kind of sent to work in space and whatnot. At least that's what I get from the blurb. So moving through that then, they're dropping down onto the colony. We do see some of the characters. It looks like he doesn't live anywhere particularly special. Still a bit of an Iron Blooded Orphans vibe. Not nearly as bad looking, a little bit more upmarket. Now this is interesting, and I'm trying to place this right here. I believe this is a graze of some description. It has that typical chest section right there. If we take a look at a graze, it has that general top of the head shape. The peak has been changed into a different kind of face, almost with a bit of a Grimjerd kind of vibe, but yeah, that general armor around the chest, those little yellow sections around those cylinders, and that big square front really does imply this right here is a graze. That guy looks like a Gallarhorn guy right there. So I did hope that this would be more of a Volcaria frame, but it seems to be a graze. So moving through some more and see what else we can see here. Got a couple of mobile workers there, and then in drops that Spinner Rody, looking pretty cool. Actually, does that one look a little bit different from what we've seen? No, it's just, I guess, the way it's animated there. So far, so cool. Here is the main character activating a mobile suit I was looking at, but I don't really recognize. It might be some kind of basic one. Kind of, if that's its head there, is it something like... Yeah, that's a very basic looking mobile suit, but I can't quite place as anything. The arm looks a bit Shiden-like, but that wouldn't really make much sense. Seems to be wielding some kind of hammer, so I assume it's something for mining or something like that. The chest section does look like it might be using the same sort of reactor as a graze, but it doesn't look really as militaristic. So moving through a little bit further, that basically gets absolutely trashed. Ends up sinking down to the water, and that's when we get to see the Gundam. So down he goes, up he looks, and there, once again, we're seeing Gundam Hajiroboshi. So we will see more of this in a minute. There is that character that is more than likely the guide in the game. And look at this absolute ripoff of Akihiro. Look at that. Absolute and utter ripoff. But anyway, behind him we've got another mobile suit. And this, based on the face in there, seems to be a variant of the Hugo. You can tell from the head in there. So this is more so than a variant of the Hugo, a variant of this right here, which is the Gilda. Apparently this right here was a Calamity War era machine, and it's based on something called a hexaframe, which is the exact same frame as the Hugo. So this is a variant of the Hugo, and it's a really cool looking variant. That looks epic. The colors right there, I'm not sure why these are always used, this blue and orange. It reminds me of Blue Destiny. Not necessarily sure what they represent, if anything. So then there's a bit of a war going on, bang, bang, bang. There is that Spinner Rody again, and there we see Gundam Hajiroboshi in action for the first time. So he comes out from the water, and basically absolutely destroys... Man, look at that face right there. Whoa! Absolutely destroys the spinner roadie that sent him down into the water in the first place. So how long was he down there that the roadie is still there? And that seems to be it for that. There is a nice view of the colony. And all in all, again, it is a disappointment that this right here is just an app. Move that back a little bit so you can see there from the back that there is a whole lot of action happening around on the back of the Hajiroboshi. So if this was a kit, it would be a fairly back-heavy one, but that's a pretty cool design. That image we did see back in August shows it without that backpack, or should I say waist pack. So there might be some variants of this. I really do hope that they make some kits from this. If there isn't going to be an anime, at least, hopefully, the spinner roadie, the Hajiroboshi, and that awesome looking Gilda. Hopefully we'll get to see those, but pretty much that is all I wanted to say in this video. So if you're anything like me, you would have gotten both simultaneously excited and then disappointed. I'm not sure if the app will ever be in English. Will it be any good? I'm not a big fan of app games personally, but if it does pump out some Gunpla, then I will be happy. But anyway, tomorrow night will be the top Gundams of 2018, so make sure to tune in for that. And as always, make sure to come back for more Gundam videos, and I'll see you next time.